I've never preferred the idea of relating information through symbols, which is to say that I've never preferred the idea of speaking. And it's strange that I don't exactly prefer body language either. I understand color, I understand paintings, I understand refractions of light and vibrations and stuff like that, but speaking itself almost seems barbaric because the second that I say a word, I'm expecting you, with my entitled moral mind, that you've understood fully the meaning of each compartment of that word. So when I say the word I went to the store, I'm expecting immediately that because I just live on a planet where everybody has to fucking do everything the same fucking way, you're gonna know the same thing that I know. And most people don't think that that's any problem. Because it's just like, oh, of course, we're all just supposed to fucking know the alphabet. We're all just supposed to know all the symbols that go together. We're all just supposed to know. But think of how expecting that is. But because every single symbol has a sound that goes with it, that sound connects to a feeling. That feeling connects to, like, a little fucking electrical nerve in your brain. That little electrical nerve translates to something that your body is going to interpret and take in as reality. Every single letter, every single, like, tiny part of a symbol has a giant effect on your brain, which makes saying something as simple as the word chair a spell. I just said, I just opened my mouth and I made a series of sounds that related to your brain, and then your brain had to say, these sounds mean these things. And it caused me to literally make your brain interpret an entire thing. That is a spell. And I've never been preferable to spells, and words are spells, and even body movements are spells. Performance, the performance of the general just movement of space and time, it's a whole big giant spell to me. And I've always went off of vibes because I feel like, okay, so you have a body, all right? I like mechanics. I love mechanics and engineering and stuff like that. That shit's like bold and beautiful. So everything has to go through like a chamber of movements. Like you put food in your mouth and it has to go through your esophagus and it has to go, like, through your intestines and stuff like that and get digested, and it comes out as poop and stuff like that. All right. And so, but we have these concepts that's like believing and knowledge, and like those are like philosophical terms to me, because belief means that, like, you have something that's essentially just not verified by a backing. All right, cool. And then you have knowledge, which is you're saying that, like, I have this thing that I think is totally absolutely true because it's verified by a certain amount of backing. But think about this. At what point in history has any part of knowledge not been disproven later? Which means everything is belief. Everything is eventually disproven because nothing is totally fucking absolute, because, like, the people who are verifying the things you call knowledge are mortal. They die eventually. Their knowledge is limited. Their research is limited. Your research is limited. To a certain extent, you have to have a gut reaction, which is to say that, like, knowledge itself is kind of like a fragmented idea, and so is belief. Like, they're both like totally unabsolute ideas, and the only logical conclusion that I could see as an alternate idea is that everything has to go through a fucking logical mechanical process. Like, something goes from being something goes from being a sensation, and that's the root of the thing. So you feel a sensation, and that has to develop, like a little fucking embryo thing has to turn into a life, and then it has to, like, turn into like a concept and like form like colors and appendages and stuff like that, and that's like belief and faith, and then it has to come into an apparent form, and then that's what we think is knowledge, but that apparent form is never totally full. Just like you're ever growing, knowledge is also ever growing. So just like you're always in a state of flux, knowledge itself is always in a state of flux. And so the word knowledge I don't like because it makes it seem like it's an absolute thing. The same way we didn't think like germs existed like 200 years ago. We were like, oh yeah, this is knowledge. And then somebody was like, yeah, germs exist. And we're like, oh, now this is knowledge. And then fucking somebody was like, there's no electricity. And then somebody was like, yeah, there is. And we're like, oh, now this is knowledge. There's always new fucking knowledge, which makes the thing like malleable. It makes it like a piece of clay, like a water like substance, something that like goes back and forth and shit like that. It's a constant fucking like ocean flux, fabric, cosmic, cartoon, fucking weird, random ass fuck shit, fucking circus plaything. Like, I find the whole thing a comedy. I'm a very big fan of Shakespeare. And that's all I have to say about the joke of life.